born healthy.
Come on in. Thanks. Just drop your stuff right there.
Hi, darling.
Hi, sweetie.
Why didn't you call me and tell me you were coming?
Oh, I barely had time to catch my flight. I'm gonna go get you a drink. Thanks. So, what? Not even a kiss?
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. No. It's just, I was so worried. I left messages at home and at the office.
Well, honey, when we talked last night, I told you I wanted to catch part of the trial. And, of course, Carol and Dana's christening.
Yes.
Huh?
Hi, Warren.
Franny,
How are
dear.
you? I'm so glad you could make it.
Thanks. So, I hear that it was a pretty rough day in the courtroom today.
Yes, it certainly was, especially for Evelyn. How did you know that?
Well, I read the paper on the plane. It's obvious from today's testimony that there's no end to Gavin's treachery.
I was so afraid you wouldn't come see me.
I almost didn't. After hearing Evelyn's testimony.
I know. It must have been quite a shock. I just want a chance to explain.
Can you do that?
Darling, I made a terrible mistake. I mean, Gallagher all but walked off the case.
How could you threaten Evelyn? You tried to blackmail her into lying under oath.
Darling, I am deeply ashamed. I felt like everything was going against me. I was desperate, but what I did, it does not make me a murderer.
Driving me nuts.
Why?
It never stays put, like yours.
Oh, stop.
What do you use? Some swab spritz.
Really?
Mm-hmm. With all the expensive ones, you like swabs?
Absolutely.
My first day of teaching, and I'm out of antiperspirant.
Darling, I couldn't bear it if you turned against me. Don't you know you are the only anchor that I have left? It's good to see my ring is still on your finger. I will take that as a sign that you haven't given up on me entirely.
I don't know what I feel anymore.
Look, I just want you to try and understand the desperation that I was feeling. It's the same desperation that I know you felt before.
What do you mean?
But you remember the anonymous letter that you got you thought was from Philippe? Remember how terrified you were at the thought that the truth would come out, that Daryl was Jennifer's father? Well, you take that same feeling and you magnify it 1,000 times, and that is exactly what I was going through when I asked Evelyn to testify.
You didn't ask Evelyn. You threatened her.
Yes. You're right, and I know I was wrong. I was just overcome with such fear. The same fear that you feel when you think that Daryl and Franny will find out the truth.
Are you threatening me now?
Barbara, I love you, and I would never do that. I'm trying to find a way for you to understand what I am going through here. The evidence against me is just piling up, and I am fighting for my life here. I know I'm no angel. I know that. But I am certainly not a murderer. Gallagher, would you please give us a few more minutes?
Miss Ryan, good to see you. Sorry, Gavin. The guard is ready to escort you back to jail.
Darling, I hope to see you in court tomorrow. I'll be taking the stand, and if I look out and I see you there, it would mean all the difference.
Actually, Miss Ryan, I'm calling you tomorrow as a character witness, so I'll need you in court at 9:30.
I see.
Darling, please don't give up on me yet. And please don't think that anything that I said here tonight is a threat.
There you
know, but you should have seen it. It was so incredible the way Tom got Evelyn back up on the stand and got her to confess that Gavin had tried to blackmail her. And the jury's faces, you should have seen them. They were incredible. I mean, it's like he creamed Gavin right there in front of everyone.
I mean, I got lucky. Evelyn told me what Gavin tried, and she was willing to be honest about it. That's
No need to be so honest.
Hey, Adam, you knew your daddy is one smart feller.
all right, so that's true. All right.
Yeah, I knew it.
Well, Tom, will Gavin have to go on the stand himself?
No, I don't think there's any way he can avoid it now, though I do expect surprises from Emerson Gallagher still.
Listen, you guys, what do you want? Takeout Chinese, Mexican? I'm starving. I think we should splurge and do Pampered Palate. What do you say?
Margot, you really need a quiet night at home, you know?
No, I don't think so. I think we're too wrapped up to spend time with
She's right today. Come on.
All right, Adam, we vote for the Pampered Palate, don't we?
Yeah?
And it's on me?
Perfect.
All
I've got menus right over here.
Yeah, he likes it. What do you think? Pampered Palate, right?
Hello? This is District Attorney Tom Hughes. Whom am I speaking to?
Don't tell me. A man with a foreign accent making wild accusations about Daryl.
No, some woman's saying she's very pleased with the way the trial's going because Gavin is not only guilty of 2 murders, he's taken other lives as well.
Well, Evelyn is helping Warren get settled in upstairs.
Did she tell him about her testimony?
Nope, not yet. Luckily, the article went to press long before Evelyn testified.
Well, maybe it's a good thing he showed up unexpectedly like this. You know, she can tell him in person now, huh?
You know something? This affair that Evelyn and Gavin had, it happened over 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was long before they were ever married. Warren has got to understand it has nothing to do with their relationship now.
Yeah, but Warren and Evelyn were involved when she had the affair with Gavin. I don't know how Warren's going to take it when he finds out that... Evelyn, can I get you something to drink?
Why, thanks.
Sure. Coming right up.
Franny. Yeah. I was just upstairs helping Warren unpack, and I was on the verge of telling him, and he said something so sweet about wishing that he could have been in court with me today, and I thought to myself, well, thank goodness you weren't. You'd have been so mortified, so ashamed.
Oh, Evelyn, come on. Warren has got to understand the courage it took for you to tell the truth in front of all those people. I'm sure he will.
But how can he forgive me for not having told him about Gavin before?
Well, Warren, I just poured your favorite drink, single malt.
Perfection. Thank you very much. So, where's my gorgeous little goddaughter-to-be?
Oh, well, I think Freda is feeding her in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'll check on her. We'll bring her out and you can fuss all over.
Yes, sir.
Is it my imagination, or were we just deserted rather purposefully?
Oh, darling, I asked Franny and Daryl to leave us alone so I could talk to you.
Oh?
Yeah, why don't you sit down? Warren, something happened in court today. I started to tell you upstairs, but I guess I don't know, I guess I just needed a little more time to prepare myself.
Why would you need to prepare yourself to tell me anything? We share everything.
Well, I hope so, because this is the hardest thing I've ever had to tell you.
Well, I can't imagine anything that would happen in court that I wouldn't understand.
Warren, 3 years ago, Gavin Kruger was spending a lot of time in Des Moines on business. We had drinks occasionally, and then one night he started to put the moves on me.
I'm not surprised. You stopped him, of course.
No. I wish more than anything I had.
Are you telling me that you had an affair with Gavin Kruger?
Yes. He tried to blackmail me this morning. He wanted me to testify that the pages from Carolyn's journal were not in her handwriting. And if I didn't, he would tell you about our affair. So I told Daryl about Gavin's threat, and he told Tom Hughes, who recalled me as a witness, and it all came out.
In front of the whole court, you just said that you had been lovers with Kruger.
Yes, well, I couldn't lie under oath. Warren, please, Warren, let me...
No. I've heard all I can stand. Thank you.
All of
across America, more people repurchase Kenmore appliances than any other brand. In fact, over 1 out of 2 homes in the country count on Kenmore. And right now at Sears Branch Central, count on this large capacity 6-cycle Kenmore washer. It's just $288. Matching dryer only $238. And now get this huge 21 cubic foot Kenmore top mount refrigerator with adjustable shelves for just $599.99. Only at the store you trust.
Potpourri! But we're more than just potpourri. I'm the potpourri carpet deodorizer with genuine Arm & Hammer baking soda to absorb odors naturally and make the carpet potpourri fresh.
And I'm the only air freshener with Arm & Hammer baking soda, so I naturally destroy tough bathroom odors and make the air potpourri fresh.
I freshen the carpet.
And I freshen the air.
Natural freshness from the baking soda experts.
My father, Louis Rich, started his company in 1921. He believes in hard work and patience. When it came to turkey, he decided the best way to cook it was slowly, very slowly. Once we tasted his turkey, none of us minded the wait.
At Louis Rich, we still believe the right way to get moist, tender turkey is to slow roast it, which may be why Louis Rich sells more turkey cold cuts than anyone else in America. Slow roasted like you would if you had the time.
A woman is kidnapped by a murderous ex-boyfriend. Now, a cop must save her on Top Cops. Then, this man jumped from the top of a casino parking garage and lived.
I had a compound fracture here.
Now he's suing the owners for not stopping him. On Street Stories, Thursday.
Look at this dress. Now, I know it's new because I would have remembered if I'd seen it before.
Oh, this old thing, I've had it for weeks. Of course, you wouldn't know that because you've been off playing with Ruthie Mansfield.
Let me tell you something about Ruthie Mansfield and tennis and golf. She's a bright, fun lady, but that's it. And I probably bored her stiff talking about you all the time.
Did you really talk about me?
A blue streak. Now, you know what's going to happen tonight? We're going to have this great dinner. And Ruth is going to go back to her stateroom. We're going to be alone finally. And I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah. Yeah, this is starting to sound interesting.
Good. And I want to thank you for inviting her to stay on the yacht.
Well, I didn't really have a choice. I mean, you invited her in front of me. What was I going to say?
Because all the hotel rooms were booked because of Gavin's trial. That's her now. Ruth, come on in.
Thank you. Oh, hi. I hope your suite's comfortable. Oh, yes, thanks. It's wonderful. And this is stunning. Well, we call it home, right, honey?
That's right. I was about to pop some champagne, but if you prefer something else...
Oh, I thought you realized by now I never say no to champagne. Please, sit down. Oh, thank you. Oh, Kirk told me all about how he secretly bought the yacht and renamed it and the restaurant after you. I think that's one of the loveliest stories I've ever heard. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Now, I was hoping that we would be able to enjoy some of this beverage out on the deck, but I think it would be pushing the season a little bit.
Oh, but it's so lovely in here. It's so nice and warm and cozy.
Well, in that case, then, I propose a toast. Here's hoping that Walsh is able to buy Mansfield, which will mean that you will have to come back to Oakdale to check on our progress. We'll have plenty of opportunities to sit out on that deck during the summertime and watch the sunset.
Well, that sounds delightful. Let's toast to that.
Hi.
Hi, how's Andy?
Well, Susan's looking at his bruises, and we're waiting for the x-rays to come back to make sure that he doesn't have any cracked ribs. Look, he didn't say much, but he did mention something about a fight on campus.
I guess you could say he was defending my honor.
What happened?
Well, nothing that hasn't happened to me before, but I guess it's new to Andy. Seems like no matter where I go, someone starts in about my heritage.
So Andy came to your rescue, is that it?
Like the proverbial knight in shining armor. He saw these 4 students harassing me, and when they wouldn't stop, he just tore into them.
Sounds like he was outnumbered from the start.
It didn't stop him.
Good for Andy. Here he comes.
Oh, your face.
Looks a lot worse than it feels.
Oh, how are the x-rays?
My hunch is that there are no internal injuries, but the x-rays aren't back from the lab yet, so I want you to hang around.
And as long as you gotta hang around, why don't you call Margot? Maybe you can file a complaint.
Take care of yourself. Claire.
Yeah, Simone?
No. That's the last thing I want to do.
When you want to bring out real taste, bring out the Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise. Bring out the grins. Bring out the eyes. Bring out the smiling faces. Bring out the hate. Bring out the praise for the one best mayonnaise. Bring out the Hellmann's and bring out the best. Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise.
Thank you for a lovely dinner.
Aren't you gonna ask me in? For coffee?
Well, I do have taster's choice.
Then how can I refuse?
Savor the sophisticated taste of Taster's Choice.
Well,
Just one more cup? You know I love your coffee.
Then, by all means, take it with you.
If you like nuts, you'll love clustered cereal. Clusters is the breakfast cereal with almonds, pecans, walnuts, and honey, crushed into little nut clusters and mixed with wheat and bran flakes. So if you like nuts,
Hey, you didn't pay.
you'll love clustered cereal.
Meet a hotshot cop.
Do you know that there's been another woman murdered?
With a cold-blooded secret. Can Jake solve the hooker murders on Jake and the Fat Man? Then, from an Asian warlord's hideout to the streets of your neighborhood, 48 Hours tracks down the new heroin connection. 48 Hours after Jake and the Fat Man tonight.
watch CBS this morning. It's breakfast for your head. Good boy.
You know, Margot's only going to get the coffee. She'll be right in here, and then Tom's reading Adam one story, not War and Peace.
I don't think they would be shocked to see us carrying on a little bit. But I will try to restrain myself until we get back to your house.
Hey, hey, hey! Knock it off. Guys are acting like teenagers here. We need to marry this woman.
As a matter of fact, I'd like to talk to you about that very subject.
Okay. Then talk.
Adam and Casey are asleep. Peace reigns.
No, Tom. Cal's about to tell us they set a date.
Oh, no, nothing so big as that, but we do have a little bit of news.
We did set a place.
Yeah, it's going to be a very small, intimate ceremony at my farm, and then your mama has graciously consented to live there.
Oh, wow. So you're going to sell the house?
Well, I don't know. I'll probably rent it out at first.
That's okay. We're going to set a date right now. I've got a calendar right over here.
Margot, I mean, it's just going to be a small wedding, but I want all my children to be there, so we have to check with Cricket and Craig first.
You know, Tom and I thought we'd go and visit Craig and Sierra after we get Gavin Kruger behind bars and see if we throw away the key.
This phone call you had earlier, could that woman have meant Nate DeWitt when she said Gavin was responsible for other deaths?
Impossible to tell. Arthur Claiborne says that Gavin orchestrated the break-in at the DeWitt mansion when Nate had his fatal heart attack.
He actually said...
Arthur says that he told Gavin that Nate knew of the takeover plans. He might be a problem. Gavin said, I'll take care of it. And after Nate's fatal heart attack, he decided the company would be easier to take over with Darryl in charge.
Well, it all fits, but is it enough for another trial?
That's out of my jurisdiction. I've given the Des Moines police Arthur's statement. Their call now.
Warren's been gone nearly 2 hours, and they didn't even take a coat.
He just needed a little time to deal with what you just told him, that's all.
Oh, I wouldn't blame him if he hailed a cab and went straight to the airport
Stop
back to
it.
Des Moines.
You stop it right now. He would never do that, Evelyn. He just needs to understand the courage that it took for you to tell the truth in front of the entire courtroom.
Oh, Franny, you don't know Warren like I do. He's got so much pride. And now that this ugly little secret of mine has been made public knowledge, I mean, how can I expect him to understand? I don't even understand myself how I could have fallen for Gavin's obvious little plot to seduce me.
Evelyn, you are not the first, all right? Look at my sister. She nearly married the man. That's probably Warren right now.
Barbara.
Hello, dear. Hi, Barbara. Evelyn. I want to tell you how much I admired what you did in court today. It must have been very difficult for you.
Thank you. I, just kept thinking of Carolyn and how I was doing it for her.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi. Girl seems to be having a little problem settling down tonight.
Franny, let me come with you.
Sure. Evelyn seems a little edgy. She all right?
Well, she's a little upset. Her husband, Warren, flew in tonight. She told him about her testimony. He got upset and left the house. Hasn't been back since.
You didn't know?
No. I mean, that's what Gavin was using to blackmail her with. He threatened to tell.
Poor Evelyn.
So, Barbara, how are you?
I saw Gavin earlier. I can't shake the feeling that he's told Emerson Gallagher about our affair. Gallagher is definitely going to put me on the stand tomorrow. What if it all comes out?
Oh, come on. I don't see any reason why he'd question you about Rome.
This is logical, except...
What?
If Gallagher can prove that you were unfaithful to Carolyn and then turn around and can also point out how quickly you married Franny after Carolyn was murdered, it might just deflect suspicion off of Gavin onto you.
That is sick.
You and I both know that Gallagher doesn't play fair. Now, I don't want to testify tomorrow, but if he asks me about Rome, I'm going to have to tell the truth. You've got to find a way to keep Franny away from that courtroom tomorrow.
Darling, please don't give up on me yet. And please don't think for a moment that anything I said here was meant as a threat.
I better be going.
I'm just sorry I didn't get a chance to explain more about Evelyn.
Gavin, not only did you threaten Evelyn, you also seduced her. Have you ever met a woman who didn't try to seduce?
Darling, what happened with Evelyn was long before you and I met. Now, I know my track record with women has not been the greatest. But after Shannon, every beautiful woman I met was just another challenge to me until I met you, and then everything changed. Darling, you have to believe that.
How can I? How can I believe it when I know on the very night that I left for Zurich, you tried to seduce Connor Walsh?
Gavin. Emerson, what are you doing here so late?
I just thought you ought to know. We may have a chance for a mistrial.
Thanks for driving me home. Thanks for everything.
I just wish I'd gotten here back to campus a few minutes earlier.
Andy, it's over now. Let's just both forget about it.
How can you say that? You can do that?
Believe me, it's not the first time it's happened, and it probably won't be the last. Can I make you some hot chocolate or something?
Thanks. I gotta get going. I gotta go home. You gonna be all right here by yourself?
Yeah, I'm not by myself, Marilyn's inside with Katie.
Good. How about I drive you to school tomorrow?
Andy, I don't want you to feel like you need to be my protector.
Well, I'll be here at 9:15 if you need a ride, okay?
Andy, what you did tonight, I'll never forget it. Thank you.
Okay. It's all right. Good night.
Good night. Just wish I could forget what they said.
It's amazing the way Indians can see in the dark. Where do you get off taking a scholarship away from some deserving white kid just because you grew up in a teepee? Some duo, a savage and a drunk.
Simone, what's wrong? Just something that happened at school. I think I'd be used to it by now.
Used to what?
Prejudice?
Things a lot of people say and think about Native Americans.
Somebody on the campus gave you a hard time?
Yeah. Luckily, Andy was there and came to my rescue, and then they started insulting him and called him a drunk, and he started swinging.
Somehow I never figured the students at Oakdale U for a bunch of bigots.
That's just a few of them. I think that they feel cheated somehow, that minority students get scholarships.
Did you report this?
No, wouldn't help. It's better just to leave it alone.
Simone, I'm afraid that these racists just get bolder if you let them get away with it. How's that feel?
Great.
Well, that wasn't such hard ER duty, was it?
Except for when Simone and Andy walked in, my heart just skipped a beat.
You know, to tell you the truth, when I saw that shiner on Andy, I was sure he'd been drinking and he got into a fight.
It's been very hard on Andy, you know, since he broke up with Courtney. I know he's been calling his sponsor a lot, and I see him at a lot of AA meetings on campus. So I know he's handling it well, but... Don't stop.
You know, that's something you never talk about.
My tired, aching feet?
I should be so lucky. Your AA meetings. Yeah, I don't even know how many you go to.
It varies. Usually about once a week. It's my safety net.
I don't think of you as somebody who needs a safety net.
Well, I do. And if you stick around long enough, you're going to have to remember that I've got an addictive personality. I've been addicted to booze, and to pills, and to unavailable men. And when I'm feeling insecure or I feel a little pressured about something, I can be tempted.
Well, just have to make sure that you don't get insecure or feel tempted. I don't know, I guess you just deal with it so well I never think of you as having a problem.
So far, so good. But you know, you can always slip. That's why it never goes away. It's always a problem for me and Andy.
Granted. Just know that you're never going to have to face that alone again. You have to know that.
Now, Ruth, I don't want to trade on our friendship, and tell me if I'm out of line, but you haven't said one word about your meeting with Lucinda today.
Now, of course, you know she's a dynamic woman, and obviously she's done her homework. And I have no doubt that my board will be very impressed with her pitch.
No doubt. And I'm sure she would pay top dollar for Mansfield, but I can't help wondering if it wouldn't get lost in the shuffle over at Worldwide.
You must be a mind reader. I had that very same thought all through our meeting. Well, as a matter of fact, if you gave M&A a chance to pitch our company, I can assure you that you would be top priority #1.
Come on, Ellie. She's just kidding. It's a little joke on me, I'm afraid.
It's no joke, honey. I spoke to Lily this afternoon, and when she gets back to Oakdale, she's really looking forward to meet with you, and I must say that I think the two of you could be a perfect match. Well, then, I should meet with M&A. That is, if you can put me up for a few more days. Ruthie, our home is your home. Isn't that right, Kirk?
That's right, yes.
Well, splendid. I think I'll be turning in now. Oh, maybe we could play some doubles tomorrow if you could find me a partner.
I don't play tennis.
Oh, well, golf then, perhaps.
No, I don't really play golf either. However, Lily, she's wonderful at tennis and golf.
Ah, all right. Well, thank you both for a wonderful evening.
I'll see you do stateroom.
I'll clean up. Good night.
Good night. Please. Would you like to play doubles? Would you like to golf?
Give me a personal break.
Lily, it's Elle. Guess what? I spoke to Ruth Mansfield. She's agreed to have a meeting with you. Of course, it might cost me my marriage. No, Lily, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
New Kellogg's Just Right versus Total.
The debate between high-nutrition cereals will begin.
Kellogg's Just Right has a new improved taste. Total tastes the same. Plus, we have 4 different grains, now even tastier.
Oh, my.
Not to mention our blend of juicy raisins, sweet dates, and crunchy almonds. Well, Total has 100% of 12 vitamins and minerals, plus calcium.
You got one.
Same here.
You lost one.
And 4 out of 5 people prefer our new taste.
Well, at least you know when it's a total loss.
Kellogg's Just Right. The new taste makes it even better.
No, it's okay. Simone didn't want to go to the police. But I spent my night in the emergency room. So I figured that there was something that we could do, that would charge them with assault or harassment, or something like that.
Through the first punch?
Yeah.
Well, look, were they touching Simone when you got there?
No, they were not touching Simone, but they were hassling her, they were standing around her, crowding her. And I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't shown up there.
Well, you started it. You don't have a case.
Oh, so what? There's nothing I can do?
No, that's not what I said. First thing, you should go to the dean. You should tell him to take care of it. He can take some kind of disciplinary action that was students that happened on campus.
She's not going to want to do that, though.
You got to convince her to.
You know, the best way to keep it from happening again is to get it on record.
All right, I'm going to go home. I wasn't ready to spend half my night in the ER. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Okay.
Dean gives you a hard time. Dean gives you a hard time. Call me. I'll give him a call.
Yeah? Yeah, thank you.
Bye, Andy. Sorry this happened.
I know. I should have given him the big lecture and told him not to do something like that, but I'd have done the same damn thing.
I would have done the same damn thing, too.
Poor baby. Let's say we get upstairs to the bedroom and get something happier on our minds.
On our minds?
Yeah.
All right, I'll get happy.
How does that always happen? Is it just my house that this happens in?
Hi, I hope it's not too late, but I just saw Andy and he said that you were still up. Oh, it's okay. Are you all right?
Emerson Gallagher is going to call me as a character witness tomorrow. What if Gavin told him about what happened with me and Daryl in Rome? What if he asked me about it under oath?
Oh, Barbara, I really don't think that's very likely.
Hello? Yeah. Well, sure. I can do that. What's this about? I see. Good night.
Well, what is it?
I don't know, but I have to be in Judge Kemp's chambers before court tomorrow. This could be the first of Gallagher's surprises.
If he asks about Rome, I will have to tell the truth. So you've got to keep Franny away from that courtroom tomorrow.
Uh-huh. How's Evelyn?
The wreck. I finally persuaded her to lie down.
Look, you know, since she seems so uptight about going to the court tomorrow, why don't you just stay with her here at the house?
Honey, that's very thoughtful of you, but Tom said that she really needs to be there, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, please, God, let that be Warren.
Warren.
Hi, Doc. Nice.
Hi, Warren.
Hi, Franny.
I'll just go get Evelyn. I'll be right back.
You had us pretty worried, pal.
I'm sorry, Daryl. I guess I lost track of time. I was walking and...
Well, listen, you just gotta try and understand in your heart that Evelyn was one of Gavin's victims. I mean, it took a lot of guts for her to get up on the stand and testify today.
you went out without even a coat?
What did Gavin Kruger mean to you?
Nothing. Nothing. It was all a horrible mistake.
But you slept with him.
Warren, you and I were having problems. I mean, I didn't even know if we had a future. And then when Gavin was so attentive, I was flattered. He was charming, and I was lonely. And I stopped it all when I realized that I was just a pawn in his plans to take over DeWitt. Darling, I would have told you then, but I was too afraid. Please forgive me.
I wish to hell none of this would have happened. But I know what guts it took for you to say that in court. And the bottom line is, I do love you so very much.
Miss Ryan, you've already testified that you're wearing Mr. Kruger's engagement ring.
Yes.
And once this trial's over, you plan to marry him.
Yes.
No further questions.
Mr. Hughes?
Miss Ryan, are you in love with Mr. Gavin Kruger?
I just said I'm going to marry him.
Well, that doesn't answer my question. Do you love him?
Witness will answer.
No.
Then why would you marry him? Could you be afraid of him?
Objection. Leading the witness.
Counselor will rephrase.
Miss Ryan, why would you agree to marry a man that you do not love?
It's all so complicated. Tom, I'm scared. Gavin is capable of anything.
Of murder?
Yes. Yes, I believe that he murdered Carolyn and Philippe and Nicole.
Barbara, that's not true. How can you say that? I knew it was a mistake to call her. It's all over now.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor. We find the defendant, Gavin Kruger, guilty.
No! No! I'm innocent! Barbara, you betrayed me, and now the whole world is going to hear the truth.
No,
the man that Barbara met in Rome 2 years ago is Darrell Crawford. He is Jennifer's father. Father.
Need a smaller upright for a small place? Get a Dirt Devil broom.
Warm, the sun's out. My kids couldn't wait to get out of the house. Last week I bought them these Play School Sandworks, super sand toys. They each had to have their own. Anyway, they're having so much fun they're too busy to fight. Well, Kenny ran out with his Play School bubble plane. It blows bigger bubbles than he ever could with those little wands. And we got Erica that Play School 1, 2, 3 bike, and she whizzed through the 3 stages. Now we have a 2-year-old on a 2-wheeler. That's great.
That was a long shower.
I kept hoping you'd come in and scrub my back.
That's because I was busy burning the waffles.
Well, they look good.
That's the second batch. I think the toaster is turning temperamental on me.
And tasty, too. What? I've been thinking about what we talked about last night. And, well, I was wondering if it'd be okay if I went to an AA meeting.
You want to go to an AA meeting?
If it's allowed.
Sure, it's allowed. There are open meetings for friends and family. It's a 1 or 2 shot deal, and then after that, if you're still interested, you can go to Al-Anon. I'm not saying you should go to Al-Anon.
Hey, it was my idea, remember?
Look, I'm sorry that I don't have a disease that can be cured.
Just as long as you don't think you can use this as an excuse not to marry me,
Marriage is very difficult, you know. And having an addictive personality is certainly a strike against us. My age is another strike against us.
It's not like baseball scores. And no matter what kind of list you come up with about all the reasons why we're not some perfect couple, I can come up with a list that'll blow yours out of the water every time.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What's one?
2 things, just 2 things. I love you, and you love me.
You're so basic. Well, last night turned out to be pretty romantic after all, huh?
Yeah. I'm thinking an even more romantic idea. Why don't you call Cricket and Craig so we can set a wedding date?
Did I ever tell you how pushy you are?
Only a couple of dozen times. Hey, listen, your own daughter asked me last night, when am I going to make an honest woman out of you? So can you blame me?
No, I can't. Because I love you so much.
Good. Now, I've been thinking about this honeymoon problem.
What honeymoon problem?
Well, the problem is, there are so darn many places that I want to share with you that I think we're just going to have to simplify the whole business and go around the world.
Well, that would simplify everything, wouldn't it?
Sure would, unless you got a better idea.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd have my coffee out on the porch.
Oh, Simone, you never have to apologize for anything in this house. How'd you sleep?
Okay. I just wish I didn't have to face those kids on campus again today.
We're here! Hi! Here we are! There she is! There's our Simone.
What you
there you
doing?
go.
Hey, Simone, Andy told us last night about what happened, and I'm really sorry. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I just wish Andy wouldn't have gotten in a fight over it. Oh, Andy's fine.
Where's Tom? Already at the courthouse?
Well, yeah, he got called into Judge Kemp's chambers. He's got a sneaking suspicion Gallagher's up to something, only Lord knows what.
And so, you see, Your Honor, I believe that my client has grounds for a mistrial. Since the jury has been exposed to testimony by Evelyn Lewis, who by her own admission was influenced by the defendant. Consequently, I feel that this jury has been rendered incapable of coming to an impartial verdict.
Mr. Hughes, would you like to say something before I make my decision?
I would, Your Honor. It's true that Mr. Kruger tried to tamper with a witness. However, his blackmail attempt was totally unsuccessful. Therefore, her testimony was not tainted, and counsel would have...
The jury was still prejudiced.
Mr. Gallagher, I have heard your argument. In fact, I've heard quite enough to make my decision.
These are all good cleaners, but did you know that not one of them disinfects? So you don't get your home totally clean until you use Lysol deodorizing cleaner. Lysol cleans and kills germs without any extra effort. Germs can be anywhere, so don't do part of the job. Lemon Fresh Lysol deodorizing cleaner cleans and disinfects.
Wasted time.
Not enough time.
Unemployment.
You never needed it more. 1,000 milligrams of strong pain relief for today's headaches. Introducing new extra-strength Bayer Plus with Stomach Guard. Now there's no pain you can't bear.
In Mrs. Houlihan's daycare center, there's an army of itty-bitty sneakers, a frog named Prince, millions of germs, and one important can of Lysol disinfectant spray. It gets rid of germs on surfaces. That's important to Mrs. Houlihan for a lot of little reasons.
Morning, Mrs. Houlihan.
Take care with Lysol disinfectant spray.
So, you exercise, you stay in shape, you like feeling good about the things you eat. And have I got the sweetener for you?
Pure natural sugar, a sweetener only nature could make.
Take American cheese, make it wrapped. You got a new idea for a tasty kid snack. Wrap an apple with American cheese and your kids will cheer. Because any snack with American cheese gets you a big pat on the back. American cheese, the snack kids love to eat.
Mr. Gallagher, I must say, I admire your gall. But if anyone has cause to argue for a mistrial, it's the prosecution, since it was the defendant who tried to coerce a witness.
I want it noted in the record that I requested a mistrial.
The stenographer will so note.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm not finished. Yesterday, Mr. Hughes, you asked for a recall of Mrs. Lewis to the stand because you said new evidence had come to light and that Mr. Kruger had threatened her. At the time, I let you continue. But in the future, you must come to me immediately with such information, and I will decide if it should be introduced in my court. Is that clear?
It is, Your Honor.
Very well. I'll see you gentlemen in court in 15 minutes.
Turn, step, hit. Turn, step, hit. This is not hard. I can do this. Turn, step, hit.
Love 15.
I just thought it might be a good idea if I learn how to play tennis, since M&A could be the proud owner of Mansfield Limited someday.
Come on, you're not serious about this. I know what this is. This is your little scheme for getting back at me because of Meridian.
It's not. It's a great business opportunity, and besides, I told you Lily really wants to expand. Okay, it's a long shot, but let me just ask you something. If by some chance M&A outbids Walsh, what do you think that would do to us?
Kurt, Ellie.
Saved by the knock. Ruth, come on in.
Oh, am I early? I came by the tennis date that we made on our way back to my stateroom last night.
Morning.
Good morning to you. Does it hurt much?
Oh, not much. I'm just glad that it's in black and blue, because when we go see the dean this morning, he'll see for himself what those punks did.
The dean?
Yeah, the dean. I went and talked to Tom, DA, last night, and he said that we should report it first thing this morning.
Andy, please. I don't want to make any more trouble.
I know, but you're not making the trouble. It's them. They made the trouble. It should be reported.
It won't change the way they feel.
Well, maybe it won't change the way they feel. But if you don't want to do it for yourself, then you should do it for the next minority student that comes to this town, goes to Oakdale U on scholarship, and goes through the same thing.
You're right. I need to do this.
You're going to keep Franny away from here.
Try to, but it's no good.
Bob, hi. I know it's going to be tough up there for you today, but just know we're here for you, okay? I'm surprised to see you and Evelyn here today, Franny. I thought maybe you'd take a little break from all of this. Well, that's what Daryl suggested, but there's no way that I would desert my sister or my husband.
Luckily, Gallagher failed to get a mistrial, but I'm interested to see what he has up his sleeve next.
All rise to the Honorable Judge William G. Kemp.
Be seated. Court is now in session. Mr. Gallagher, you may call your first witness.
The defense calls Gavin Kruger.
Little things are changing at JCPenney because lots of little things for your baby are now 20 to 40% off with all the biggest names for little ones on sale. Little creepers, little rompers, little overalls, and more. Plus great values on a lot of little helpers. At the baby sale.
Why did you switch to Suave antiperspirant?
An extended family reunion at my house, and I was out of antiperspirant. So I used my husband's Suave. After a day of keeping names straight and Uncle George's plate full, I was about finished. But Suave wasn't. It kept me really cool and dry. And since I knew Suave was less expensive, I switched. Who'd have believed something that worked so well could cost so little? Who'd have believed Uncle George could eat so much?
Suave antiperspirant. So effective, you won't believe the price.
If you have an itch for a free Disney World vacation, scratch it. Play the hidden surprise game at Burger King and win a vacation for 4 on Delta, the official airline of Walt Disney World, to Disney's 20th anniversary celebration. There's a grand prize of $100,000 and 200 vacations in all. Over 100 million instant prizes, including free food and cash. Every card can be a winner. The Burger King Hidden Surprise Game. You win Burger King now.
She's a world-class jewel thief with a seductive charm.
This woman is a tough pro, and she's dangerous.
But to catch a thief, you have to be clever.
And somebody's bound to put 2 and 2 together.
I really do hate people who aren't who they say they are.
Jim Bradshaw could get downright nasty if she feels she's being trapped.
Guiding light.
The truth won't go away. The more I'm with you, the deeper in I get. Won't stop hurting.
Someone I don't want to see.
You mean someone you don't want seeing us? Rosie's in Love, Saturday.
By Regina Porter. Join us tomorrow for the Emmy Award-winning As the World Turns.